Howdy. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. My name is Breeze. Do a quick introduction of myself. Breeze from Raw Marketing Group and Social Content Masters. At Raw Marketing Group, we do marketing strategy and implementation for brands. And then we do AI integration for them as well. And then with Social Content Masters, we script, film, edit, and post all the content for brands. So it's a hands-off assembly line process for the business overall. I got into this space from a friend. I was coming from electrical engineering. So that's like where I went to school for. So I'm just a big systems person, right? Putting things in the right place, making sure everything works. And then getting into the marketing space, it's all about being able to help people with those same systems and watch like their families be able to grow and benefit from it because of the business and things that they have now. So that's kind of my passion on why I'm even doing this stuff. Today, I'm just doing a quick course on artificial intelligence for business. We're gonna be going across a multitude of different AIs that are in this world right now that you can use. I suggest, get your phones handy, grab some of these because we also have prompts that are just like you type this into ChatGPT, is giving you gold straight out of it. And then I'm also giving some of the best softwares to accomplish what I've seen to be the hardest things in business and in marketing. Like all the problems that people have 100 of, I hear them every day. And so I'm like, all right, let me find a process that can fix this one or two things. Before I get into it, I would just love to hear a little bit from you guys, right? Like, what do you guys do? What is your experience level with AI? And starting with you.
Starting with me,
Mhm.
you want me to get in the camera or just my voice?
Just your voice.
My name is Lily. I've been in Vegas 20 years. What am I doing with AI? Well, my business, I promote health and beauty.
Hmm.
Before the pandemic, I knew nothing about social media, but thanks to the pandemic, I had to learn. It was a challenge. I am still learning actually. It gets confusing with too many choices.
Right.
Too many choices, which one to use, and so I use of course, Facebook, Instagram, and then when they start telling me, "Oh, do you have LinkedIn? Do you have TikTok?" To
Hmm.
me, it's a little too much because I'm still learning.
Right.
So, and my experience has been because I am halfway learned. Then when I finally get something done, they change the rules and they change everything. So
Yeah.
that's my experience with social media, with
Okay.
AI and all of that.
Awesome.
I'm
Awesome.
still learning.
Oh yeah, he got a microphone for y'all. I'm sorry, I've been forgetting that that's a thing now too. So then pass it over to the next person. I'm just asking a little bit about your background and your experience with AI.
So my original background is in the fire service, and my more current background is with UNLV and the Tourism Business Igniter program that operates out of here. My experience with AI is next to nothing in the way I'm still in the phase where I just ask it random old questions to see what it tells me, and the like. So I'm very, very new, to the, to the platform, to the technology, but I see some exciting possibilities with it.
Okay, awesome. Pass it over to Evie.
Hello, I'm Evie Prudo, and I own and operate Exquisite Procurement. Me and the AI is not working right now, but I'm willing to learn.
All right, awesome. And then last up, oh yeah, we're just asking everybody's what you do and then your background with AI and utilizing it.
Well, my name is Shauki. I'm in talent development. We used to call it professional development, where we train people to build their skills. I'm an ex-IT person, so AI is not something weird to me. I use AI almost every day. I started using it in 2014. I used to work for IBM, and we know that IBM is the first company who produced AI under the name of Watson. AI is so simple and easy. That's my advice to everyone. It's so simple and easy. Forget about the big name and the big fuss about AI. It's so simple. Just get to your computer and start using it about anything.
Right.
Anything you can think of, it can help.
Yeah,
I don't know. If,
most definitely. That's it. And I don't know if these guys.
Go ahead, Matthew.
My name is Matthew. I go to Mojave, and I don't use AI. I guess I don't.
Haven't used it yet.
No,
Okay.
not allowed to.
How about you, my man?
I'm Jermaine. I go to Keller Middle School, and I'm Jermaine, and I go to Keller Middle School, and I don't know anything about AI.
Okay, that's fair. It's fair.
Can I share something real quick?
Yeah.
So I'm Elias, and I use AI. Definitely love it. And I was using ChatGPT 4.0 last night, and I was so impressed by its memory capabilities because I hit up ChatGPT 4.0 and I was like, I need an SOP for the incubator. Actually, first I was like, do you know what the incubator is? And it gave me the best executive summary of this space. And I'm like, I don't remember telling you that we did all of this, but it remembers all of the past work that I did with it. So it gave me the best ever executive summary. And I was like, give me some SOPs. And I was, again, blown away by AI.
Blown away majorly. Yeah. I think it's so much better now with the memory and the functionality. So I'll get into some of that. So we got QR codes. Again, have your phones handy. We got prompts to take pictures of QR codes. And then you also get access to these slides as well afterwards if you guys need that as well. This one is just, stuff from us. So we have a ton of free guides, resources if you grab this QR code, and then, our lists, right? So we have, for example, attention long enough for them to complete watching your videos. We love that we've curated. So if you like that, grab that. So ChatGPT, and it's not just ChatGPT. I'm only really going to mainly focus on ChatGPT, and I'll go over some of the other models as well. But some of the main features to think about, especially for people who have never used it before, you're just using it as your assistant, right? You can use it to bounce ideas off of it, right? Have you ever just had a moment in time where you just having one other person that you're brainstorming with allows you to think outside of the box that you've been stuck in for the last few? Now, imagine if that person had access to all the information and they actually could validate all the stuff that they were giving you as ideas. Because sometimes we get ideas from people and it's like, it's a good idea. You try it, wasn't a good idea, right? But if you had all the information, you would have probably made a better decision. So that's what, ChatGPT for me is. It's like my assistant that I get to bounce my best ideas off of and see, has this been done already? Is there maybe something I'm not thinking about in this space? And is there possibly a better way to do it? Different modalities that they've brought into the platform are the abilities to upload images, and it can decipher what's happening in the image and pull information from that, PDFs, audio files. You can have conversation directly on the phone. So you can talk to it and it'll have a voice that talks back to you like Siri, and you just have a conversation back and forth, right? And then the GPTs, which are just pre-programmed and pre-prompted AI models and conversations that you're having there. So people have already done all the work to make sure that whatever you put in, you're getting the perfect answer back. So if you're not good at coming up with what to say to it, that's already partially taken care of. And then on your cell phone, when you're using ChatGPT, they have a search feature. So you can search little pieces of the conversation and it'll find what conversation that was so you can go back and find it accurately. Yeah, so that's why I use it on the phone mainly. I don't use it on the desktop as much, just because I got to find these conversations. I'm flying through them things a lot, right? So, and then like Elias said, the memory of the conversation now. So before you had to be in the same conversation, in the same chat in order to find that information again. Now you can start a new chat and it can still reference other conversations that you've had in the past, which just makes it that much greater, right? So these are kind of the things to think about when you're crafting a prompt. A prompt is just what you're putting into the AI in order to get the answer back, right? Whatever you're saying. The more that you give it and the more context that you give it, the better and more direct of an answer that it will give you. And it won't be so broad, so vague, and an answer that everybody has already, right? So one is just defining your objective, clearly articulate the purpose of the content, what you're trying to generate specifically, provide the context, and it's the setting of where you're at, This is for this. This is what's happening. This is the situation that we're in. And this is why I'm even coming to you, Mr. or Mrs. ChatGPT, right? Be specific, be as detailed as possible, descriptive prompts, use outlines, talk about the tone that you're expecting to get back from it. Sometimes I'll even ask ChatGPT to give me a prompt to get this specific result, and then I'll start a new conversation and grab that prompt and put it back in, right? Because it can give you more details of things that maybe you weren't even thinking about and more context than you were probably even thinking about, right? Then refining the process and reiterating it. So don't be scared to experiment, refine the prompt, retry it. Just because it gave you an answer back doesn't mean you can't go back and change a couple things and then retry it again. So the first answer doesn't always necessarily lend its way to be the best answer, right? It's just a conversation that you're having that will get you closer. Know your business. So I will say this is kind of like a pin before we get into a lot of this stuff, is knowing a lot about your business. So we do a lot of marketing strategy and brand strategy. People don't know what they do. They don't know who they're talking to. They don't know the service that they're actually selling, right? They know the name of it. They know the framework of it, but they don't know what they're actually delivering, right? The person that you have as your customer, your client base, what do they feel like they're receiving from you? And it's not always what you do as a service, right? So you want to be able to identify your customer avatar, what's their demographic. And then when we think of going into like offer creation, things that are just being explosive and grabbing people's attention, there's usually 5 core elements that we look at, right? Age, gender, profession, pain, and passion, right? If you have 3 of those together, then you're talking directly to that person and they feel like, oh, wow, this is me. And they will listen when you put a message out in your marketing. So it's like, hey, a person between the age of 20 and 30, it's a woman that does this. If that's you, you're going to hear those 3 things and say, they're talking directly to me. Let me listen up. Let me lend an ear, right? Same thing, your pain point. Hey, this is a guy that has foot pain because he's working all the time, right? This is like, or he works on this all the time, right? You're giving their profession, you're giving a pain point, you're giving a gender. So 3 or more, that's what you should be thinking about when you're creating offers and knowing the audience. Know their pain points, identify the experiences that they will possibly have and the emotions that they'll possibly feel, and then take it a step further. After that is remedied and fixed, what is the next possible problem that they'll probably have? And can you fix that? Because then it makes your service that much more valuable. And then master your offer. Again, going and taking those 5 elements and building the equation out, right? Which is your dream outcome and your perceived likelihood of achievement divided by the time delay and the effort and sacrifice that it takes to get there. So you want the top to be bigger, the bottom to be smaller. So if the outcome is $1 million, $1 trillion, or perfect living and life, if you can deliver that, that's great. And the bigger you can make that, the better. The likelihood of achievement, if it's like guaranteed, is better than you'll probably get it, right? And on the bottom side of that, the time delay, you want it to be smaller. If it's going to take you a week or a month to get the results, that's not as beneficial as saying you're going to get it right now, right? Or I already gave it to you. All you got to do is pay now. Yeah, you know what I mean? Something like that. And then the effort and sacrifice, right? So an example of that would be working out, right? You can give somebody supplements, you can give somebody all types of things, but if they have to get up every day early and they got to work out and they got to sacrifice their time and time with their family, that's not as beneficial. So we want to take all of those things and make them as small as possible so that they're not becoming hurdles to why people will or won't buy from you, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So this is one prompt that I just wanted to give you guys this one because this is like a free good one, right? So in a minute, I'm going to ask you to write some copy for my business. This will include blog content, Instagram posts, sales emails. Before we begin, I want you to fully understand my business and my customers. So ask me at least 20 questions about my business, customers, audience, and anything else that you need in order to complete the task to the best of your ability. So what I'll do is I'll tell it about my business. Then you plug the end of this or this prompt in at the bottom of it, and it's going to give you 20 questions to answer. Answer those 20 questions. Now it's fully educated on your business. Any conversation that you have after that is going to be super, super defined, super on point, super sharp, right? So I would try this one out. It's really gold. You can add in more than just the sales emails, Instagram posts, blog content, anything else that you need content-wise, add it into the prompt and then plug it in. But usually if you have the conversation on the phone, I'm just talking about my business. Yet some of us, we're not good at writing it out and defining all that stuff. Just talk about your business. Yeah, you know, I started doing this 20 years ago. We were helping these kind of people. It turned into helping these kind of people. And now we're trying to do this, this, and this. We're trying to expand it to this, that, and the third.
Would you be down to demo it?
Yeah, let's try it.
Even with your phone, if you have that on your phone?
Yeah, I do. Here, let me see.
Has anybody here not used ChatGPT 4? Right.
Possibly.
I used what is it called? Copilot and Gemini. What
Gemini, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
But not ChatGPT 4.
Mm.
Why? I'm confused. Is it an app you have to download?
No, it's just ChatGPT. So when you're in it, there's different models, right? So 3.5 is like free. 4 was the one that's paid. Now they have 4.0, which is just faster because there were so many people on 4. And then it does have a few different capabilities as well. So it just gives you way better answers, way longer, more full answers as well. And so this is one that I use is u.com. So it has ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all of them kind of wrapped into one. So I can switch between them. So literally, I am a digital marketer. I run an agency called Raw Marketing Group. We help people with implementation of digital marketing products. We help them to systemize their business. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to write some copy for my business. This will include blog content, Instagram posts, and sales emails. Before we begin, I want you to fully understand my business and customers. Ask me at least 20 questions about my business, customers, audience, and anything else in order to complete the task to the best of your ability. And then send. So first question it asked, what specific digital marketing products do you implement for your clients? Can you describe the typical profile of your clients? Are they small business, startups, or large corporations? What industries do your clients usually belong to? What specific challenges do your clients face that we can solve? How do you define systemizing your business in the context of digital marketing, right? So all of these, if you're just answering them piece by piece, when you plug that back in, it's on point. It's on point. Another thing that I'll do is I'll tell it to write me a very detailed description to seed AI with information, right? And it'll give you a giant, long piece of information about your business. Copy that, throw that into a Word document so that it's saved. And then you can just use that every time that you need to talk about your business. You can pop that in first and then ask the question and re-educate it. Because sometimes, even though it has memory, it can get murky at times. Sometimes it's referencing other conversations and not the right thing, right? Let me get this bad boy back up. It's back. Okay, cool. So that's an example of one. And it gave me 20 other, 15 other questions that are just really, really good to answer, trust. And if you're specific to the industry, they're going to ask you questions that are relevant to your industry as well, because it has all of the information about what people are usually doing in your industry. This one, I would take a screenshot of this. If you don't have a business plan, this is the $20 AI business plan. This is how I would do it. Use ChatGPT, right, as your test bed, and then I'll grab LivePlan. LivePlan just gives you all the different sections of a business plan broken down. So if you're educating ChatGPT on your business, and then you go and use this QR code, this QR takes you to a page on LivePlan that has a bunch of prompts about your business. And you use these prompts, put it in ChatGPT, gives you the answer. Then you just fill it into LivePlan section for section. You'll have a 20-page business plan that's very detailed with financial forecasting, market mix, everything that you need all in one for $20, which is crazy. So it's usually $20 a month. You can get this done in one day using ChatGPT. download your business plan, and then move off of it. But this is like $1,000 business plans, right? 20 to 30 page business plans with forecasting projections. So I'm a big fan of that. Before, some people were doing some AI business plans, weren't that good, maybe 2-3 pages of some information, not as detailed. You're not going to get funding with that. You're not going to be able to expand that and get investors to believe in you with 2-3 pages, right? This one here. So this is a content creation prompt. Us at Social Content Masters, it's all about creating the best content. I think a lot of times with social media, we think that it's just a game of trying and, maybe not landing. But if you know the formula, you will get the answers that you're looking for all the time, right? The hook, the content, the CTA. Generating the actual content that's good for your brand as well is another thing that's very difficult to do. Sometimes the things that we're making content on that are important to us are not important to our audience at all. And so the problems that you think that they're having, they're not really having at all, right? And you're just trying to talk to an empty room of people that don't experience the same thing as you every day. So this one is generate a weekly Instagram story calendar in a table format featuring 2 daily story post ideas for every 7 days. One story should be focused on creating personal connections with the followers. The other should be more sales focused story, subtly promoting my business service. So I am insert your career, your business, your industry. My target audience is this age, lives in this location, has this occupation, and wants to achieve this result. Make the story ideas quick and easy to create. I want the table to start with weekdays, story ideas, instructions, visuals, hooks, supporting text, and any other features I should add, like polls or stickers. Polls, that's funny. Wrong poll. Right. But a poll is like the voting, right? So you're asking a question, you're asking a couple, is it yes, no, maybe, and you're just taking a survey on there. When you build those into your story, it just pumps up the engagement of your stories, which allows more people to find your story and watch your story, right? So I've done a 5-week intensive just on organic growth on social media platforms, Instagram, even right? You post a story, you have 100 people that watch your story. If any of them are, then you should just direct message them because they're already watching your story. We're putting this invisible shield in front of us. They're watching us, you're watching them, and you guys aren't talking. Why? So that's one thing that you can just fix, and polls will help you to get more people to watch your story. Next, content generation prompt. I need to create content around this topic. Can you give me some suggestions? I want to create visual content like a video VSL, which is a video sales letter, right? On your website, usually you'll have a video sales letter at the top or in the next fold that's explaining what you do, the who, what, when, where, why, how to get in contact with you, all that kind of stuff as well. How can I create this type of content that will remain relevant and interesting for a long time? Another thing that a lot of people do is trend hopping, right? You take a trend online, you try to replicate it, and then you post it. If it's not relevant to your business, it's not helping you in the long run, right? Even if you have 1 million people that watched the video and it went viral, wouldn't it just be better to have 100 people that are possible customers for you than 1 million people that are only following a trend? So that's the way that I perceive it. And for most people, they would prefer money over views. And that's how they perceive it, right? So I agree with that. I want to make my Instagram content, right, more interesting. Can you give me some ideas? I want to create a video that showcases the benefits of this service. Can you help me come up with a list of ideas on how to present the information in an interesting and engaging way, right? These are super simple, like small prompts, but make a big difference, especially when you stack them, right? These are for captions. So one thing that I watch people do on social media all the time is sit down for an hour and try to figure out the caption. We finally got the video, but now we're trying to figure out what to say. And we sit there for maybe 20 minutes and then we finally put a sentence out there and it's just like a song quote, song quote, ... 2 hashtags. Like if you can have the AI create the caption for you, it's going to make it in a way that's more captivating, right? And then from there you can edit it. So create a caption for my latest Instagram post about this service that will entice users to check it out and consider making a purchase. Write a caption for this Instagram post featuring a picture of, and you're talking about what the post is that highlights this feature about it, right? Generate a list of hashtags that I can use for my Instagram post about this. The hashtags still work. People think that it's gone, but it helps to index your content on social media. So if you're a nail tech and you hashtag nail tech and you're in Las Vegas and somebody from Las Vegas searches for a nail tech, your stuff has a way higher likelihood of popping up in the feed and in the Explore section now because you hashtagged it the right way, right? And there's other things you can do with your profile as well to make it do that. Compose an Instagram post caption that showcases the benefit of this product in a compelling way, right? On top of these prompts, you can also add the tone that you're looking for. Oh, make it fun and bubbly. I always say use a simpler vernacular. I don't know why. That's like my favorite thing to put in the prompts, because a lot of the AI, the ChatGPTs, Gemini, when they're writing exposition, they're making it super whimsical, and I just don't need it. I don't think it sounds fully authentic all the time. It sounds really nice, but you can tell sometimes that it's AI written because it's very adjective heavy. Every noun has an adjective. Everything has that. Every pronoun has, you know, so, and that's just not how people talk, right? And if you want more concise and more toward the way people talk, I would just say humanize it or use a simpler vernacular. Simple. You can just add that to the end of any of these prompts. So these are some other really good prompts. This one is for advertisements. If you're doing social media ads, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and then this one's for blogs. For the ads, right? Create several social media ad concepts for my business, and then put your business name promoting this product. My target audience is, put your ideal audience, and the ad should run on this platform, on Instagram, for example, and emphasize these key selling points. So whatever the benefits are that you are constantly promoting, whenever you tell people, like you do your 30-second commercial, you know, your elevator pitch to somebody, hey, I help people do this through that. Whatever the this is, that's your key selling point. That's your benefit, right? Ideally, the ad should be attention grabbing and include strong call to action. A call to action is just, if you don't know, it's the action that you're asking people to take. So if it's to book a call with you, that's the call to action. If it's to like us, to follow us, to share this, these are all just different calls to action. Check out our website, all that. And you can add information like the focus that you have, the videos that you put, more on the targeting. You can talk about your budget, right? Like, hey, I'm only going to put $250 on this ad here because that does matter, right? It does matter. And then if you have a copywriting style that you're looking for. So if you have somebody that's in your industry that they make content too, or they create ads, or they do whatever as well, you can say, write this ad like this person, or create this content like this person, right? And it'll mimic their style of writing or mimic their style of creating the content, even in your format. For blogs, write a blog post about this topic targeted towards this audience or our ideal reader. The post should be informative, engaging, and aiming to do whatever this is, right? So if you're educating somebody, that's one thing. If you are upselling them, that's another thing. But there are, in another presentation, I go over the different pieces of content that you can make. There's promotional content, but there's also vulnerable content that helps as well. Vulnerable content is anything that's behind the scenes, right? Your everyday life, things like that. People want to see that stuff, right? And you have people that follow you and customers, but then you also have supporters, right? Advocates, people that will talk about the business when they go out there into the world. And you're only going to get that through creating vulnerable pieces of content. So if that's what you want to make, throw that in there as well. Any questions on any of these so far? Because I know on the prompting side, this is more, I think the hard thing about ChatGPT, right, is knowing how to really, versus just putting in small questions, how can I get out a full answer that's perfected already by the time I get there? Yeah.
I wanted to add something. I went to another AI seminar, and you can actually, depending on what your demographic is, you can put in, hey, make it sound like Jack Sparrow.
Yes.
And the content will 100% create it towards that, depending on, again, what kind of business you're in. And I think the cool factor on that's curiosity, because ChatGPT will literally write it like an old school sailor, you know, pirate on the seven seas type thing. I think that's pretty phenomenal. So, I mean, you can even fine tune it a little bit more, utilizing the prompts to that level. And it's pretty phenomenal. I mean, the evolution of AI and ChatGPT as a whole is so useful, and like you're shedding a whole lot more light as far as the utilization from a money making standpoint.
Yes.
And it's good. It's phenomenal.
And so one thing that we do, like when we're doing social media content for brands, is the first part is researching, right? Just because you have a bunch of ideas for content and you think these will be good, don't mean that they're actually good. So you need to research what's actually happening in the industry. So we usually take the top 10 or 20 people in your space, your industry, and we look at all of their content and we rank them all. We watch what went most viral, what got the most shares, what got the most comments, because likes aren't always it. Sometimes you'll see videos that have more shares than likes now, right? Because people are just sharing it out. If you can replicate that type of content, it will get you more people and more of an audience. So if you have those 10 people that are in your industry, now you can start to even create content directly like them. That's the first step of that, right? So I'm big on it, man. And the content I was scared to do for a long time, right? Content creation for brands. We're used to doing media buying and advertising and these things that I can just say, oh, okay, $1 in equaled $12 out. Let's scale this. Now let's do another channel and do the same thing. And social media just felt like, oh, what if I make the best video ever and it only gets 100 views, right? Or something like that. But if it was the best video ever, it probably wouldn't have only gotten 100 views, right? So there was something in there that you can change. And I think the idea that it's all just by chance is just us not really taking any ownership of the problem, right? I had an incident recently where we had like a client that just got a bad review on their stuff, and they were upset about it, right? Hey, this and that and the third. Oh, they're talking about this. Oh, this must be a setup. Oh, it could be this. And it's not the truth. You can either blame, or you can just take what they said and you can change or find pieces that you can make better. If you're only playing the blame game, you're not playing the evolution and the progression game for yourself. So using GPTs, right? So on here, on the left-hand side, when you're on ChatGPT on your desktop, you'll see one thing that says explore GPTs. If you're not very good at creating prompts, explore this portion of it because this is going to help you out a lot, right? Whatever you're trying to do, look up if there's a GPT that's already fine-tuned for that specific thing. One for me that I really like is the video script writer. So video script writer GPT, you say, hey, I need to make a video about this. It asks you questions. How long do you want this video? Who is this aimed for? Okay, I give you 4 hooks. Which one of these hooks do you want to use? Which one sounds more like you? Number 1. Okay, I'm gonna write it. Do you need anything else? Did you want to change it? Did you want to? No, this is perfect. All right, well, let me know if you need any more. It talks to you like that, and then you tell it you need another thing. It does the same thing. So that's super helpful, especially for us that aren't actors, that aren't writers. We're just not good at that kind of thing, but you still need to get your message out there. And honestly, when you're not good at something, that allows people to see the progression of when you do become good at it. And it allows people to also find you as a more reliable source at times because you're human. And a lot of people like working with people in a boutique style, right? So these are some of my favorite apps, right? AI apps for the win. Each of these in its own capacity can really elevate what you're trying to do in your business. So Predis AI is a content creation app. It actually finds everything that's trending online. It finds different memes, different things online. It allows you to create it. You can put in your brand kit, right? Your colors, your style, educate it on your business, and it'll create the content for you. And you can just take it and post it. It'll also show you everything that's trending, and you can make a version of it for yourself from within the platform. So very, very simple content creation. If you're not making anything for your brand, just start doing it today. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be good even, right? But it does have to start happening because it's free. And these platforms are actually opening up the floodgates with traffic if you're just posting consistently. Just try to do one a day. It doesn't have to be that crazy. Prop the camera up while you're cooking, you know what I'm saying? And making some food, or just while you're eating, prop the camera up and just capture some of that stuff. And you can do a voiceover just talking about the business over top of you cooking. People love that stuff. I watch them. Watching somebody take the trash out and they talking about marketing, but I'm watching it because you're just watching them do something tactile. Next is vidon.ai, similar to video.ai, but you can create videos instantly. So you just type in a little bit about what you're trying to make. It finds the music, finds the stock images, makes the transitions, puts the text over it, puts the voice over it, and you can just download it. So you don't have to be good at creating the content. And especially if you don't like being in front of the camera, you can definitely use this one.
Is that, excuse me,
Mhm.
any of those have the translation spoken?
Mhm.
Say I can do one video in Spanish and then press translate into French and
Um,
then speaks it in French.
I believe so. I believe so. There are a few of them. I'll have to verify, and then I can get you a definitive answer on the ones that do have that functionality. But a lot of them have it now, right? It's like, yeah, 75 languages strong. You can change it at any given time. So I think that that's amazing. Copy.ai, probably the best writing tool that they have. Copy.ai was, able to search the internet before that was even really a full functionality on ChatGPT by itself. So they've been pretty innovative on that side. ElevenLabs voiceovers for your videos, super underrated. I've taken a piece of content that is like nothing, us just shooting and going like this in front of one item for 10 seconds, slow. And then you just put a voiceover and it sounds like one of those, commercials on TV with a spokesperson that they paid thousands of dollars to talk just over top of this video. Now you can have that same voice and that same quality over top your video. You can use something like CapCut, create the captions of it, and now it's a full piece of content. Easy, easy, easy. All right, Typeset. You can use Typeset for ebook creation, lead magnets, graphics, right? So if you have things that you're trying to give to your customers for free, this is where you will do it. And there's a lot of value in doing that because you really have to give about 10 times the value that you're getting pretty much in order to get people to buy into your stuff, right? So if you're giving them a ton of free resources, you're creating that rapport between you and them or between your business and them. So make that on Typeset. There's another one called Designer. It's like literally designer with like no E at the end and 2 R's. So that's another one for ebooks if you want to check that out. Canva. So who here uses Canva? A couple of us. Okay. I have like a Canva ebook that I can send you guys. It has just more about the functions. But Canva is forever changing their stuff and they're adding more and more features, right? So they have the Canva Studio, which is a full suite of AI tools just in the platform that you can use. Everything from taking a long form video, finding things relevant and chopping it down into maybe 30-second clips. You can do that now in Canva. Creating AI images that you can cut out the thing inside the image and add it onto a flyer. You can do that now in Canva. It has documents, so you can create a Word document. You can create anything really in Canva. It's like, it's gold now. It's gold now. It's really at another level. You can take things out of pictures, right? Like you're on a beach, you have 3 people behind you, take them out of the picture. Now it's just you alone on the beach. And you can do that in Canva. Or you can expand the picture and add more beach now. So it's pretty crazy. If you haven't checked all that stuff out, I would definitely check it out because it's insane. Descript is video creation and scripting. It's just another editing tool. Xmind or Mapify, visual learners, this is your tool, right? So it's ChatGPT, but it creates a mind map for you. So you create one idea and all of the answers, it creates the branches with the concept, and then it creates the branches off of that with all of the sub ideas or subtopics. So for people who are very visual, it helps out a lot. I'm learn a bunch of different ways, but I love to see the stuff visually. And I think for a lot of us, the reading isn't the primary format that we would have preferred, right? Like ChatGPT giving you a full 2-pager, I don't think is everybody's preferred method. I don't think as many people were reading like that before ChatGPT. I think it's got people back into reading, right? But I think some people would also just like to have a mind map to see everything at a glance. And I can show you what that looks like. Notion is an AI workspace for you. So you can bring all your team in there. You can organize all of your AI. You can organize your workspace and your project management and the task management within your team. And then it uses AI in each cell. So imagine having like a notebook and you can do anything on the notebook and it just has AI behind every page where you can click and make it give you more information. It's pretty much how Notion is. Hey Jen is an AI talking avatar app. So if you don't like being in front of the camera, it can take a person, put them there, and you can just type the voice, right? Type what you want it to say and it'll say it. It'll have the person talking. You can also take a video of yourself or a picture of yourself and clone yourself on there. So it'll be a video of you, and now it's you talking with stuff that you typed in. So if you don't like being in front of the camera, you're no good at it, check out HeyGen. It's actually very solid, very solid. You know, you can obviously tell it's AI still, but we're getting pretty close to where it's almost indistinguishable, which is scary. Right. And then this one is like my favorite, most underrated tool, Fireflies AI or Otter AI. Who here does Zoom calls or like Google Meet calls, right? A few of us. When you have Fireflies, it's your AI note taker. It'll sit in the chat with you guys and grab notes of everything. So for one, you can get a full transcript. You can listen to the entire call back over. You can watch the entire call back over if you have the premium version. It'll give you notes on the entire call, like these things that happen. These are the action items that you need to do, and these are the action items that the other person on the call needs to do. And this was the focus of this person, the focus of that person. This person talked 60%, you talked 40%. All the things that you want to know from it, that's it. What I do is I'll take and it gives you transcripts as well. So what I do is I take a transcript from the call, plug it into ChatGPT, give me a follow-up email based on this call, right? And it gives you a very defined email talking about every little piece, and it makes your whoever you're on the call with feel like, but damn, they were really listening. They were listening like to the T, and they knew everything that we needed to do next, and they're not going to miss anything. And there's times that it saved me on a call, right? Like I had this idea in my head about what this person wants, and I'm about to go ahead and send them the link for this. I look back at the AI, it says, this person is focused on this. And I'm like, no, I just got off the phone with them. They're focused on this. And then I listened to the call back. I'm like, no, they actually did say they were focused on this thing. I had some preconceived notion in my head, and I kind of were trying to push them in a way to something that they weren't really asking for. And so the AI identified what they were asking for, and then I just sent them that. And they were super happy. I'm like, wow, I could have just lost this sale just pushing them the wrong way. You know, I talked about this one thing so much because I know that it's providing value or can provide value to them. But if they don't see that value, then you cannot force somebody to get it, right? It's like being in a room that you're just not appreciated in. They're just not appreciating you here. You need to go to a different room. You can't make somebody have more value in you without accolades, without action that they've seen, you know, in time. So it might just be better to get into another room. Any questions on any of these? Okay. And then this is our app, you know, TechStart. The TechStart app, if you don't already have an account with TechStart, I would check out Elias because it's going to help you out a ton. It's a full customer relationship management software. If you don't know what that is, this is where your database for your customers is going to live, right? So there's a statistic out. Data is worth more than oil now, statistically. So if you're not capitalizing on it and collecting all of that information and all the data, then you're losing out on your business, and you're not going to be able to stay around for a long time, right? So everybody that you've ever worked with, if you can message them all tomorrow about the new thing that you have going on, wouldn't that be more beneficial than just messaging them one by one or trying to remember maybe who you worked with? Because I have times I forget that I even were talking to people. I have money on my phone right now that I could probably collect. I just have to go back through. And for me, I just go back through the CRM and I'm like, oh yeah, this person, they've been hitting me up. I had somebody the other day message me. He's like, hey, are you still trying to do the CMO stuff for my business? And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that I even had the conversation, but I was able to go back and track it and track where we left off on the conversation because it's in the CRM, right? And it also has an AI conversation bot inside the app that can take over your channels, Instagram, Facebook, text messages, your website chat. It could be the same AI that you can educate on your business. So it can either read everything on your website and educate it that way, or you can write everything on a Word document and share it and educate it that way. Want to hop on a call so we can, you know, expand more on this or whatever that conversation looks like. Cannot be on the phone all the time, because I don't know about y'all, can't be on the phone all the time. In fact, small businesses miss about 58% of their calls because they're on calls and other things like that. And you think that that's crazy, but that's just lost business, right? You have, let's say you're running Google ads and you missed a call. That means that you just spent money to miss a call. And then all that happened was that person went to the next person down the list and called them and they answered. That's insane. That's insane. If you could fix those things up, you will have way more business just by setting it up. Trust me. And if you don't have this app, get with Elias and get it. He will help you set it up. Prima. So open questions. Does anybody have any questions just about, marketing or AI in general, right? Or have you had any problems that you're trying to solve right now that I could probably just give you some light on? No?
Well, I wouldn't say question, just comment.
Mhm.
It's very time consuming as far as learning how to do that in order to set your business up. And oh my God, sometimes I sit down and I say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I start doing, step by step. But then it's time to go to a meeting or it's time to do. So maybe that's what you're doing.
Yeah. So there's a few different things to unpack there. One, I would say, so I watched a video more recently, and this is with Alex Ramosi, and he was just talking about what he calls manager time versus maker time and how you have to separate the two, right? Manager time is when you're like stacking a bunch of calls to be the most effective today. All right, I got to do 8 o'clock, a 9 o'clock, a 10 o'clock, and your day is pretty much mapped out. That's more of a manager day to where you have to be on these meetings in order to build the business. That's not going to lend way to you being able to be creative in your business, right? There are times where you have to sit down for 2-3 hours in order to get the consciousness and the train going, right? The train of consciousness going on it. And that's what we call maker time. Maybe you need 2-3 hours, 4 hours, and 2 big blocks of time in order to, hey, I got to build my website out, or I got to change it because it's not good. It's not converting anything. So you have to sit down and work on it, right? Or whatever you're building on ChatGPT, you just have to sit down and do it. Every time somebody interrupts you, that interrupts the flow, and it takes a while to get back to it. And it could be anything, right? Just a phone call, somebody called you, even if you didn't answer it, right? You didn't answer it, you kind of put it down, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking about all the things that this conversation could be, right? Or you're thinking about what it probably is, because you probably know what's going on behind here. You're like, oh, I don't even want to talk about this right now. But now that it's played in your head, it's done. So I would say separate your time in those kind of maker days and manager days. And if you try to mix both, it's going to be very hard, right? But if you have like a maker day, then I would tell everybody like, yo, leave me alone today. I'm literally trying to do this and work on this only. And I do about 2 of those every week to where I don't book any calls. And I'm just strictly working on stuff. And I'm not trying to take calls and things. I just won't do it because it's slowing us down a lot. It's slowing us down a lot. When you think about it, from the point of view that you have, it's taking you a long time. But like, think about how long it would take you if you didn't have ChatGPT. Right. So this is actually saving you time, but it just feels like it's taking a long time because you have to hop in and out of it. Right. So I think that's more of like a perception thing than the reality. You got to like refocus that time and just ignore people, because trust me, when you get to the other side of where you're going, you're going to be able to help those people or help them out more. But if they keep interrupting you, you're never going to get there. Right. They just keep jumping on your back and you're trying to walk to the top to grab gold for everybody. You're jumping on your back. Y'all making it harder. So. Any other questions? I had a juice over here at one point. Is where? Oh, in front, right? Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, my little blind spot. I was like, I'm not seeing it. But yeah, thank you guys, man. I do appreciate your time. If you have any questions on marketing overall, social media, implementation on AI strategy, things like that, please come to me. I love to help. I give free resources all the time. That's my whole thing. That's all I care about, really. So, thank you. Thank you.